NSDC's eSkill India has joined hands with American India Foundation for enhancing employability skills and providing career guidance to college students through its course Essential Employability Skills for Indian Youth. You can follow 4 simple steps to enroll in this course. Step 1. Log in or register yourself on eSkill India portal. To enroll in the course, click on the above banner on eSkill India portal. The banner will appear on the eSkill India main page. In case banner is in motion or not visible, you can click on the corporate training button available to reach the NSDC AIF training program. If you have registered yourself before, you can log in and continue. But if you are a new user, click on sign up, fill all the details. You will need to verify your phone number or email ID. Once verified, click on I agree to terms and conditions. You have now completed the registration process. Now you can log in and enroll in the course. Step 2. Enter coupon code. After you have logged in, enter the coupon code and click submit. Step 3. Select course and language. The course is available in 2 languages. To do the course in English, click here. Kindly remember, you will not be able to change the language of the course after enrollment. Select the language of the course carefully. Click on Enroll. Click on OK. Step 4. Go through all the modules and clear the final exam to earn any certificate. After completing all the lessons in each module, you will have to give final assessment. Completing the final assessment is mandatory to complete the course and earn certificate. To give final exams, click on Final Exam. Each candidate will be given 3 attempts to clear the exam or improve the final score. The best score out of the 3 would be displayed on e-certificate. Now click on Quizzes. Click on Take Quiz and complete the quiz.
I hope the screen is visible.
Yes, ma'am, we can see the screen.
Okay, fine. There are some waiting this indicators I'm getting on the screen. I hope Chinmay, you are able to, do that. Okay.
Yes.
So welcome students. Welcome to the session. I hope by the end of the session, you all will be in a position to gain something out of it. At least, if not anything, but at least, a concrete, clear mind as to what choice would you like to do the moment you are through with your 12th or with your SYJC. Okay, going further. Now, when we are talking about, a career choice in supply chain management or logistics, and which incorporates a lot of things actually, supply chain management is a very vast term. There are a lot of aspects in it. There are a lot of areas in it which go into the entire supply chain industry. So first and foremost, what you all need to have in your mind is what is your interest, area of interest. Before making a choice, before making a decision, you all should try and find out what are your interests are. Now, if you all are even a bit aware about the logistics and supply chain industry, then definitely your interest must be inclined towards national and international distribution system of goods and services. You must be having some interest or a curiosity as to knowing how the goods are moving from one place to another, maybe within the country or maybe across the country. So that curiosity you should have, that interest to know should be there within you. And you are having an inclination to be working or to be associated or affiliated with anything that has got to do with air freight, that is air transportation, with shipping, with transportation. That means it can be your road transportation, it can be your rail transportation, or anything got to do with imports, with exports, with customs broking. That is, when you are dealing with customs, the customs which are the Government of India, Ministry of Finance department. Anything you are having an interest that you should be working with them or you should be working along with them. Freight forwarding, movement of goods and services, warehousing, warehouse management, inventory management, procurement and purchasing, buying of goods and services, consultancy, and many such more areas. So if your interest or if your curiosity is there in these areas, then you can think of making a career or building up your career in the supply chain and logistics industry. So what you need to do is you need to, one second. Yeah. Now, what is the career path that you will have to chalk out for yourself the moment you are done with your 12th? Okay. You can either complete a BMS degree in custom clearance, freight forwarding, and logistics, or you can complete a BCom degree in transportation and logistics, or you can complete a BBA degree or a BTech degree or a BE degree. I believe all of you all are commerce students, so obviously the BTech BE may not be applicable here, but then it doesn't mean that students who are doing their bachelor's in technology or in engineering are not eligible to come into the supply chain industry. They are too. Or you can, you need to be a graduate in any discipline. That is also fine. But the order in which I have placed it over here shows the preference, okay, especially the ones who are very much focused in making a career in this line. This is how you will have to chalk out your preference. Okay, that is about your degree level qualification. After your degree, okay, after your degree, you can think of a post graduation, getting a post graduation degree in an MBA, as an MBA in logistics and supply chain management, or you can even think of getting a MBA degree in port and shipping management. There is MBA degrees available in transport and logistics also. Any master's degree which are offered by different institutes and universities in logistics and supply chain, in transportation and shipping management, even a postgraduate diploma in logistics and supply chain management. It can be a full-time diploma, it can be a part-time diploma, even a postgraduate diploma in customs clearance and freight forwarding. If you want to be more focused on the customs clearance and the freight forwarding aspects, then you can be more focused through by getting a post-graduation diploma in custom clearance and freight forwarding, or for that matter, any certification program which is offering certificates in logistics and supply chain management courses or areas. So this can be your post-graduation level career path. There are very notable institutions and universities that offer all these types of degrees and postgraduate qualifications. Here also I have put them in an order. You have the IIMs. Of course, to enter there, you need CAT qualified. You have the IIFT, where you have the management aptitude test qualification required, which they only conduct, IIFT conduct. You have the IMU, which is the Indian Maritime University. They have their own common entrance test, which they conduct. Then you have University of Mumbai. You have different colleges and institutions under the university affiliated to University of Mumbai, which also conduct your bachelor's degrees as well as your postgraduate degrees as well as diplomas, full-time, part-time, in various formats, with, where they will conduct their own common entrance tests, which you will have to go through that. Then you have the Confederation of Indian Industry, that is CII, which they also conduct a lot of courses, a lot of certificate programs and diploma programs, where they have their own aptitude tests for the selection. And obviously, if you are thinking something out of the country, then there are a couple of universities, especially in the US, UK, and Singapore, to be naming a few main prominent countries. But there are other countries also which offer logistics and supply chain degrees and courses. So these are the institutions and universities where you will need to focus upon, or you will need to look upon for getting your qualifications in these, in supply chain and logistics. What skills should you be having? What skills are required? You need to have problem solving skills. You need to have good knowledge. Now see, supply chain, when we are talking about supply chain, it's a very big perspective. Okay, it involves everything. It's not just related to some what do you say, micro level aspect. It includes everything. It includes finance, it includes administration, it includes organizing, it includes marketing, international business, everything. It's the supply chain professional has to be equipped with a knowledge of all these areas, because that person is going to be almost looking after the entire operations of an organization in whatever aspect, on whatever area the company is going to be conducting its businesses. So that professional has to be equipped with all the necessary skills. The communication is very important because supply chain is basically working with different partners, with different members, team members, and in different companies and different entities, government entities, non-government entities. So communication skills is something that will go a long way if you are well equipped with them. And good decision makers, especially people with analytical skills, people who can think logically, people who can look at the problem and then come around arrive at a particular solution. People having those kind of thinking skills are very well preferred over here. So if you feel that you are one of them, then you can think of this particular industry as one of your option. And candidates also, considering the times that are changing today, technology is something that is becoming a part of our life. Okay, it's like an everyday thing for us today. So just imagine our personal lives have been, so much depending upon that now. So companies and businesses are all the more into it. So tech savviness is something that is required. So technical skills, software skills, that is something also you should think of in acquiring. So these are something that you will be inevitably, when you will jump into this particular career choice, you will inevitably be required to get all these skills, because otherwise it will not help you to grow. Let's talk something about our industry. Supply chains are everywhere, from the biggest company in the world to running your household. So it's like we are a part of supply chain. It's just a matter of knowing what its worth is. Okay. So be it customs area, be it a shipping and freight forwarding area, or be it a manufacturing setup or a warehousing setup, or anything got to do with transportation and movement. So these are the areas, this is the scope wide where you can, spread out, or you can actually think of fitting yourself into it if you want to be a part of supply chain and logistics industry. So customs clearance, freight forwarding, shipping, transportation, all are important components of logistics and supply chain. Immense growth in the logistics business, both in private as well as in the public sector. So we have all sets and all types of organizations, all types of sectors where supply chain and logistics plays a very important role. So you just need to get the skill and you will fit anywhere. Okay. Increasing demand for qualified personnel, because one thing that is lagging in this industry is qualified people. The reason behind is because many of us are not aware about the needs of this type of an industry. All this time, all this while, people from other areas or people who are qualified in other aspects are, getting into supply chain and into logistics, and are somehow managing to, survive there. But industry is hungry for people who are supply chain qualified, who are logistics, having logistics knowledge. Okay, having those skills, which will actually help the industry to a great extent. Today, they are making do with whatever is available as far as the availability of manpower is concerned. But if they get a chance, if they get an opportunity of a candidate who is qualified in this particular line, they are going to jump on that candidate, they are going to grab that candidate. That's how our industry is today. So candidates who are qualified graduates in custom clearance, freight forwarding, logistics, and supply chain management are the most sought after by this industry. So the scope can be in domestic. If you don't want to go out abroad, you can make, your scope is vast in the domestic sector. And if you are, wanting to venture out internationally, then yes, you have international logistics, you have international supply chain. Okay. And in what sectors can you go get into? You can get into manufacturing, you can get into food chain, you can get into retail, even travel, healthcare, automotive, services, almost everywhere. Because every industry, every sector needs supply chain, needs logistics to survive and to thrive. So that's how we are, we can fit anywhere in whichever sector it is. It's not restricted to any one particular area, because our skills are like that. Our skills are like that we can fit and we can actually accommodate any aspect of operations in any aspect in any industry. So these are the sectors like custom clearance, freight forwarding. You can even think of joining shipping companies. You can think of joining airlines. You can think of joining the transport sectors like the road transportation, railways, even courier sectors. You can even think of joining companies which are into supply chain practices, which are into operations, which are into process management, as well as warehousing, distribution, retail, e-commerce. So this is your companies where you can look out for joining them or for making a career as far as your job opportunities are concerned. Some of the best workplaces as far as logistics firms are concerned are, I have just put the logos here, but with the names I think most of you can correlate, you can understand what kind of companies are we referring to over here. So these are basically logistics companies who provide logistics services like transportation, warehousing, and different other things, custom broking, shipping, air freight, all that services are being provided over here by these organizations. And you can also think of fitting into multinational companies like this. They can be manufacturers, they can be food chains, they can be retailers, they can be e-commerce companies, anything you name of, computer companies, any companies. You can even think of getting into that aspect. Now let's talk about what is the future of our logistics market or our supply chain market, especially with relevance to India. Now, logistics sector in India is almost around 215 billion worth. Okay, and it provides livelihood to more than 22 million people. And the logistics performance index, this is like a indicator checking, or it's like something that measures what is the position of India, what is the rank of India as far as the logistics performance index is concerned. It is among the top 35, and measures are being taken by the government to come from 35 to 15 to coming under between among the top 20. And for that, government is working very hard. There are a lot of initiatives, there are a lot of schemes, there are a lot of reforms that the government is undertaking so that this sector grows. So you have public private partnerships, you have the Ministry of Commerce and Industry doing framing frameworks, reforms, policies, incentives, schemes, and also the Ministry of Transport. You can see so much of road building work is happening in our country. You can see that all corners of the country are being connected. You must have heard about the dedicated freight corridor. You must have heard about the Sagarmala project, where all the corners of the country can be well connected so that moving from one place to another happens within a said short span of time. That's what the government is looking for, because that's the need of the world as a whole. The global world today, geographically it looks vast, but logistically when you look at it, it is so near. It has come very close to each other. Each countries have come so close to each other because of the logistics network. So that's how the industry is taking prominence. Why should you choose a career in logistics and supply chain? In any industry, goods are required. You as an individual, you need goods, right? You need something to eat, you need something to wear, you need something to make use of. So how are you getting it? Have you ever imagined that? How are you getting it? How are you able to eat what you want? How are you able to wear what you want? How are you able to use what you want? It is because in this industry, goods are bought, goods are moved, goods are stored. Okay, and only if they are done, all these movements, all these storage, all these purchasing, buying, everything is done efficiently and effectively, then only you will get your cup of coffee in the morning at the right time. You will get your dress what you want to wear at the right time for the right moment. Otherwise, you know how life will be if you don't get things at the right time. So that is what logistics and supply chain industry is about, and that is what you can be a part of. You can be a part of that effectiveness, you can be a part of that efficiency which this industry offers. Someone equipped with comprehensive and integrated knowledge of logistics is a strong candidate in the job market. This I've already said earlier on the skills that are required. So logistics industry currently, as I said, 22 million people, but expected to extend employment to up to 40 million people by 2022 and will continue to grow. There is no end. So far as you keep on, demanding for the goods and for the services, this industry is not going to die. It will die only when people will stop asking for goods and services. And I don't think so that is going to happen. It will only get extinct if humans extinct. Okay, if people cease to exist in this planet, then logistics and supply chain will not exist. Employers are actively seeking younger candidates to fill a gap in demand, as approximately 48% of workers in transport and logistics are over 45 years old. And so experts and employers agree that attracting younger talent to the industry is crucial. So you can see how hungry the industry is today. They're looking for younger talent. They're looking for young candidates. A promising future, the Indian logistics sector has become the new sensation. So what kind of workforce categories, where all can you think of? We saw that which all companies can you think of, looking up to? Which are the areas where you can think of, making your career opportunity? One is management area, where you can, maybe work like a supply chain professional or a director or a manager or a facilities manager. Another is information systems, where you can work as an analyst or a process engineer or a supply chain analyst or a systems manager. Another is warehousing. There also there are warehousing operatives, executives, assistants, warehouse operations managers. Then in transportation, you have the fleet manager, you have the transportation manager. If you are willing, if you are choosing to make a career in inventory management, then you can get into as an inventory specialist. You can be a vendor manage inventory specialist. Then materials and procurement, like purchasing, in purchase departments, procurement and purchasing, you can be a materials scheduler, you can be a materials analyst, you can be a production analyst. Sales and customer service also, like a client management executive or a director or an engagement manager, account manager in the sense the client account manager, or a sales representative. So these are the various areas or various designations. I've given the designation so that you all can get an idea that what kind of job designations or what kind of job titles are there in the industry for a candidate who is basically willing to make a career in this industry. So these are some more job titles which I thought. Now salary scale, which I'm sure that would be the main question in everybody's mind, that what would be the, if at all I decide to get into this industry, what would be my start? What would be my growth? Okay, where can I, how much can I succeed? Well, sky is the limit. That much I can say for those who are totally dedicated, who are totally committed once they make this choice. But as a fresher today, on an average, your salary can scale from 3 to 4 lakhs per annum. That is something which any company would be offering a candidate as a fresh graduate. I'm talking this as a fresh graduate, not as a fresh postgraduate, as a fresh graduate. Because in supply chain and in logistics, one thing what you can do is, even after graduation, you can join, you can start working. And simultaneously, you can also do your post graduation or any certification program, which will help you and which will boost you in your job career. So starting off 3 to 4 lakhs. And if you're going as a postgraduate, on an average, you can expect around 4 to 5. And then if you are a graduate and you've already had 1 or 2 years of experience, then you can expect around 6 to 7 per annum. And so on, if you get into the managerial levels and above, then it can be 7 to 8 lakhs onwards. Okay, I know so many people who are at the level of directors or who are at the level of senior managers and all, who are earning around 10 to 15 lakhs per annum. And of course, there are some who are, even if it's a foreign multinational company, then you can imagine it can even go more than that. So salary scale is this in front of you. So monetarily also, it's quite rewarding. Most important thing in today's time. Okay, we are talking about career growth, we are talking about scope in industry, but everybody has been talking, oh, because of this pandemic, so much has been suffered, industry has got a backlash, companies have shut down, jobs have been lost. But let me tell you, as far as supply chain is concerned, as far as logistics is concerned, on the contrary, the effect has been the reverse. Because you know very well, during the pandemic, what has been the situation among the general public? Panic situation. Okay. And what is it now? We are confined to our homes. Have we stopped consuming? Have we stopped ordering? Have we stopped eating? Have we stopped wearing? No, we are still doing that. So, through the pandemic, the importance of the supply chain manager was brought to the forefront, not just for the country's point of view, but even for the economy. I mean, even not just for their company's point of view, sorry, but even from the economy point of view. That role has actually gained, a triple effect. So the demand for professionals with a supply chain management degree is not likely to diminish after COVID, as there has been a constant rise in online sales and e-commerce of more than 30% growth. So as e-commerce grows and as the country deals with the pandemic's rippling effects, the supply chain manager, or you can say anybody related to the supply chain industry, is one of the most promising career paths of the 2020s. That means 2020s onwards. Okay. Hence, you must consider a degree to build your career in supply chain management and to boost your career. A master's degree program in supply chain management will give you the skills and knowledge you will need to qualify for in-demand supply chain jobs. So one positive thing, what has happened during this pandemic is supply chains have got some recognition and the world has become more aware about it. That is what has been the positive thing during this COVID situation around the world. So critical skills like decision making, attention to detail, leadership qualities, financial literacy, and cultural competency, because you will be dealing with different types of people, different types of cultures among across the continents. So you will also need to be having those kind of skills available with you. So this is something that will be required by a candidate if the candidate wants to get into logistics and supply chain. So what you must do, this is my final thing, what you must do, whatever you decide for your career, take pride in it. That is very important. That's positivity. Okay. I'm not saying that you take a career choice in supply chain and logistics or customs or freight forwarding, but whatever decision you take, you must learn to respect it and to take pride in it, because then the further path will be based on that only. So you respect and take pride in your decision as well as in the career choice that you have taken up. That is the most important thing before anything else. And rest, of course, equip yourself with all those relevant skills whatever your career demands, and software and technology skills whichever career you choose. That is something which is required today at the most. So wishing you the best for your future career. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
So if we are going to have any question answer sessions, we can have that. I don't know how you're going to do it. Are you going to do it through mic on, or is it going to be in the chat box?
They can unmute themselves and ask. Otherwise, they can put in the chat box. Both ways.
Okay. I'm open to any questions related to whatever I have spoken today. If you all have, if you all want to ask anything, is there still any query or doubt? You all can all ask me. I'll be glad to answer if I'm able to answer it immediately.
I'm sure they have so many questions. You can type it in the chat box. And Orange, you can unmute yourself and
Okay,
ask.
but I'm not seeing any question coming in the chat box yet. If you are, if you can see, then maybe you can, tell me that.
Yes.
So I will answer that question.
Can't see anything in the chat.
So I guess I don't think so. There are any questions. In case if any questions are asked afterwards, then maybe you can pass it on to me. I will give you the answers later on. Okay, because I would like to leave now. I had requested that I wanted to leave early,
Yes, ma'am.
so that is why.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much for this brief insights.
Okay, thank you everyone. Bye.
Thank you, ma'am. Is the presentation visible?
Yes, Chinmay.
Okay. Umang, just let me know when Sergeant Sir joins the meeting.
Sure.
So let us know like why we are here and why are we talking about all of these things since the an hour. So what is basically career guidance and what are the employability skills that you need in life? So talking about this workshop and talking about this project Future Ready, this project is about sharing the vision to develop future workforce in India. Dell Technologies, in partnership with American India Foundation, National Skill Development Corporation, and University of Mumbai, has launched Project Future Ready to equip the workforce with career skills. The project aims to provide skill development for the students through career mentoring, leveraging online skilling platforms, and providing market aligned skills training for employability, and inculcating entrepreneurial mindset. AIF has impacted 6.7 million lives across 26 states of India. Till then, let us know what career planning is. So, I want to ask you all a question like, do you know what is the difference between a job and a career? Or have you ever thought that, like, what is the difference between a job and a career? Anybody? You can unmute yourselves and speak. That's completely fine, or else you can type it in the chat box. Are you all there? Let's make it interactive. There is no point in like I'll speak on and on and on and you guys can't understand anything. So let's make it a two-way conversation. Come on, you can unmute yourself and ask me rather what is the difference between job and a career.
Career
Mm-hmm.
career is a long term plan and job is like
Job is a short-term goal.
short term goal.
Perfect, perfect. Anybody else? Okay, so the difference between job and career is like job is work you perform to earn money and support your basic needs. And a career is a long term professional journey you may determine based on your passions, and it is the path you embark upon to fulfill your professional goals as well as the ambitions. So, choosing a career is unquestionably one of the most important decisions you'll ever make it. It impacts just about every facet of your life. Like you are all are in the SYJC, you'll be choosing your careers in the next few months, and it will be a big task, a huge task upon you guys to choose your careers. So let's make it easier to understand how you can plan your career and how you can put it forward. So career planning has basically four components. The first one is the self-assessment, second is career exploration, third one is getting focused on the career, and fourth one is the action plan. So we must explore the area of our interest. Like before choosing the career, we must understand what are our interests, our passions, and traits in order to know which job profile will be best suited to us. And self-assessment is an important part when you plan a career. So, based on the self assessment, we discover various educational training, various opportunities, and also follow industrial trend that suit best our personality as well as the interest. For any plan to work out, it is one of the most utmost important that we remain focused and take appropriate actions towards our goal. So, to begin with, we never underestimate the importance of internships. You must gain as much as importance you can with apps like LinkedIn available now that is very easy to connect with the employees. Also, it makes our life easy where we can track every possible thing in our industry and the interest that lies in it. So I hope that very few of you here, or like as compared to none of you, will have the LinkedIn accounts here. But as soon as you'll go in the graduation program, you definitely should open the LinkedIn accounts, because rather than, I will not say it is more less important, but rather than Facebook and Instagram, one should have a LinkedIn account in this current age, because it helps you to connect to the various people in within the industry as well as the various companies that you have. So to do all this, there are certain tests that help you to understand how you can choose the career and what are the skills that you have, or rather where your interest lies. So career mentoring test. So as we discussed in the self-assessment, it is very important component of the career planning. Career mentoring test, a psychometric test that consists personality as well as the interest test. It provides insights to one's personality traits and interest areas, which helps to further make more precise decisions for choosing a career options. As well as there is another course on the NSGC website. So NSGC was a national skill development mission to fulfill growing need in India's manpower across the sector, and they have reached so many people, and they are offering courses regarding that. So this is a course which is a 5 hour long course, which is free, and the link is in the chat box. So you can access that course, and you can definitely do that course. It will help you to have so many skills regarding your future career prospect. So this is a bridge on the river Choluteca. And have you seen this bridge before, or what do you think when you see this particular picture? What do you think when you see this bridge? The bridge is at the wrong place, the river is at the wrong place, the design of the bridge is not good. What do you guys think?
The bridge is on the wrong place.
The bridge is on the wrong place. Okay. Anybody else? Okay, so let me tell you, the bridge is at its perfectly right place, and the river has changed its course. So what happened is, the bridge is in the Horrendous. It is in the Central America. In the 1996, the bridge was built, and the architecture of the build is excellent. I mean, and in 2 years later, a deadly hurricane hit the area, and the entire course of the river changed. So after the course of the river changed, the bridge has now no use. So that is what is happening in the lives of the professional as well as the students currently. The pandemic hit us, and whatever the skills we had, the traditional old schools skills we had, they are not required anymore, or rather the importance of the skills is getting less and less these days. As ma'am explained in her PPT, that technology is more and more important, so we need to uh, go for a new, we need to check out the new skills, we need to have them in our life and learn those skills. So this is what the bridge tells you about, like you need to learn more and more things. So when we talk about employability skills, let's first understand what employability is, or how can we define that. So it is a set of achievements, that is skills, understanding, personal attributes that make someone more likely to gain employment and be successful in their chosen occupations, which benefits themselves, the workforce, the community and the economy. मतलब एम्प्लॉयबिलिटी स्किल्स, और अदर एम्प्लॉयबिलिटी के लिए हमें जो भी चाहिए, मतलब हमें जो स्किल्स चाहिए, अंडरस्टैंडिंग जो होता है, हमारे जो like if you are from the SYJC and you opt to do anything from the accountancy, so you need to have the skills of the tally. So all those small things you have to get a particular job, all those things are called as the employability skills. So when we talk about employability, let's talk about what are the employability skills. The skills are those core skills and traits that needed in nearly every job. Like these are the general skills that make someone desirable to go in an organization, or hiring manager almost always look for employees with these skills. So when we talk about jobs and we go for the interview, yes, they obviously do check your certificates and how was your academic performance, but as well as they always check your skills. Like they say, like whatever you do, you should have a perfect knowledge of Excel these days. So like that, in your particular industry, whatever industry you may choose, you should have those employability skills in you and to stay in the market. So we require those employability skills when we approach a career in terms of a long term goal. So those skills we have now, what we should have to have a better career prospect, we should have adaptability and flexibility. So what is that? An ability to be flexible and adapt to change is vital, because whether you like it or not, change will be the big part of the new era of world. There is, the industry is continuously changing day by day, whichever it is. Like you should adapt to those changes daily. The employers are increasingly looking for the people who can move out of their comfort zone and see a change as an opportunity for growth and innovation. Like the pandemic has shown, the many of the companies asked employees to move out of their comfort zone, go out of their traditional ways and methods of working, and adopt new ways. Those who accepted those ways, they survived in the industry, and those who didn't, they are somewhere suffering to cross their path from this particular situation. So through the pandemic, you have likely faced and overcome new adversaries and challenges that you didn't foresee. So you should take time to acknowledge how your mindset have shifted from the recent weeks, and how these skills are incorporated in your workplace. Let's take your example. Like you all are students, you are in the 11th standard, and you started the 11th with the offline classes. All your school time was spent in the offline classes, and the suddenly pandemic happened and the college and the government told you to shift online. So the initial months were so much confused or complex, like rather I and we were not getting used to those online platforms, to the teaching methods, the online methods, giving online papers. But we accepted those things, we adapted to those things, and now we are doing it uh, uh, more comfortably, we can see. Like if we compare ourselves to the April or May and current February, there is a lot of change to our approach with the technology, and that same thing happens when you go in the industry. So when we talk about all these things, let's talk about the emotional intelligence and the communication skills. Like you have the employability skills, you have the soft skills that you are adaptable, you are flexible, but you should have the emotional intelligence as well. And what is that? Communication and the emotional intelligence, it is a significant skill that you need to have. Like you should be aware of the emotional intelligence skills, where you should demonstrate empathy and show your respect towards co-workers' emotions. You should respect those emotions. You should not always try to be bossy and order around, but you should always show them respect and show the emotions towards their work and what the ethics that they follow. So having good communication skills is also an essential tool in achieving the productivity and maintaining strong working relationship all levels of organizations. So see, wherever you go, you should have a proper communication skills. If you don't have a power, I will say, to convey your message perfectly, or to have a proper business communication, a proper communication with your bosses or your clients, then you may not achieve same amount of yield as you may when you have a proper communication skills. So you have to have those communication skill via email, via online meetings. You should have a proper communication skill in place with you. So doing moving further, let's talk about teamwork and collaboration. The basic mantra of today's business, that we have to collaborate. In recent times, we see that a lot of organizations are collaborating to achieve what they aim at. And efficiency is an essential plan of a team, an important aspect of the workplace. So working as a team in the collaboration with each other will always give you an opportunity to learn from each other. Like why the team India wins, or rather why your favorite football team wins, or whenever you work with your fellow students in a particular academic project, and why it's always such a fun. Because whenever you work in a team, you try to understand the other person in front of you. You try to understand their strength, you try to understand their weakness, you collaborate them, you adjust according to it, and then you work. So basically, when you work in the industry, you should have a perfect collaboration and teamwork. So apart from that, you should have a leadership qualities in you. A leader is not only a good team player, but it also plays a vital role in building and leading the entire team. A leader is someone who always shows the torch to his team and a perfect pathway. Also, he's someone with a lot of responsibilities, from creating positive work culture, leading by an example of delivering results. Like being a leader is not an easy thing. Like you should have all those qualities to take your team from that particular project or from that particular task and cross it very successfully. You should have those skills in you. When we talk about time management, time management is a must thing when you go to work, or rather in your academics also. Like when you wake up, you should have your to-do list in the day. Like I have to do this particular things in the first half of the day, I have to do this particular things in the second half of the day. But when you say time management is not just about managing your work time. It's about giving equal time to your work, to your family, and to your personal space as well. Like if you meditate, you should have a particular time for that. Because if you don't have your personal time, if you don't give time to your family, and you are just segregating your time to your work and the workplace, it leads to pressure. So you should divide the time in the particular perfect slots. What happens if you don't divide the time, if you don't time manage, you don't have a particular routine? It leads to stress. yes, there won't be any office or there won't be any industry which will not have a 100% stress free environment. It will definitely have, but you should always have a positive stress, and that should be in a certain limit. If you have 100% stress daily on your head, it will impact the work as well as the quality of your person, your being will change. So what you should do when you manage the stress, you should remove all the negative stress in your life and always focus on the positive stress that you have. So doing so, it is, let's move to another point, that is the digital communication. So it is the popularity of the digital workplace that is growing due to the health concerns of the pandemic. You need to be up to date with all the skills and digital communication, at least technologies online. So like we are currently having a Zoom call, we have 80 around people connected with us, we all know how to email at least. Then we should be able to communicate digitally with the other people. So as the days are passing ahead, we all know that the importance of the digital communication will grow more and more and more, and it is now, but it will be a the most required thing when you, in the future, when you will go for a job application. Talking about data literacy. So, in a world of increasingly powered by data, data literacy is important as literacy itself. An organization's ability to succeed will be heavily depend on its employees' abilities to learn new language. Professional performance is linked with the good grasp of data, helping us make better decisions and adding weight to our arguments. Like they say, like data is the king. If you don't have data, if you don't have the knowledge of the data, if you don't know how to analyze the data, if you don't know how to interpret it and narrate it to the other person in front of you, in short, you should understand and able to tell it to the people that you are that they are in front of you. So you should be able to tell them what data is and what are you working with. So if you don't have the data literacy, it is difficult to have survive in the your future career. So when we all have the skills, like we know how to, what are the employability skills, we know how, what are the soft skills, we know how to manage time, we know what an industry is. But when we go for an interview, what we actually require, so we require certain job application essentials. So we tend to plan a lot of things. Say for an example, we want to go for a movie with your friends, and you start planning much about which movie to see, in which theater, what are the show times, what is the ticket price, with whom will you go, what will happen when you have uh, planning for your career. Like for us, such a small thing, when you go to a movie, we think about this 10 questions. But let's just imagine in the within next few months, you all will be thinking what to join and what to not. So what kind of questions you will be having. So start thinking about your career, start thinking about what are the skills that you have, start thinking about polishing them up. How do you will use your qualification, how will you be qualified, and how will be the correct path, and what will be the correct path to achieve that. So you should you are the one that is looking for it, and you should, and how can you make believe to the other person that is sitting on the other side of the desk, like, boss, I am the best person that you can hire in the market currently. That you need to believe them that yes, मेरे पास जो भी स्किल्स है अच्छे वाले, सब मेरे पास है, मेरे अलावा आप किसी के पास गए तो काम नहीं हो सकता, आई एम द बेस्ट पर्सन, यू शुड हायर मी। ये आपको सामने वाले को विश्वास दिलाना है। To do that, you need to have all these essential skills with you. So yes, you went to interview, you thought about your questions, like what are you, why are you choosing this career, you planned everything. आपके पास वो सारे qualifications भी है that will prove or that will make believe them that you are the best person. But what if your resume and the communication skill is not good, or rather you are not able to convey that what you have. Like, I have a double post, for an example, let's say I have a double postgraduate degree, I have a PhD, but I'm not able to convey it properly, or rather I'm not able to make it attractive and say it to the HR or whoever is hiring me. So you should have those resumes and knowing how to present them. You should put yourself in the best possible way. your resume will be sounding amazing, but in the interview, if you are not able to speak to yourself, speak about yourself, then what's the use? Like I said, if oh, it's okay, let's fine, your resume is amazing, the HR liked it, but then you are not able to convey yourself. So what's the matter of being there in the interview? So you should have all those skills with you. So coming to the last few slides of the presentation, let's speak about what GICD or other what my college is. Now talking about University of Mumbai's Garware Institute of Career Education and Development. Our college is located in the university campus. If you come anytime, you should definitely visit. So we are into skill-based education which will give you the inputs to work better in the organization as well as the industry. We have undergraduate diploma program, then we have all you can see on the screen, like you have we have diploma program, then we have undergraduate bachelor's degree program in the various fields like retail, pharmaceuticals, paint, then we have jewelry and design, customs and logistics, what we just heard from the ma'am. We have undergraduate diploma courses. So you're depending upon your interest, like you name it, we have the courses that will offer you skill-based education. So these are some of the areas that look at where your interest lies and how you monetize it, because it is like you'll have fun basically. So learn as much as possible you can, and you can enroll yourself in any of the degrees that are available across the Mumbai University as well as the Garware Institute. So these are all the degrees that we offer. So yes, that's the end of presentation from my side, but let's see, I believe Sajan sir in the presentation, Sajan sir in the meeting. Hi Sajan sir.
Hi there. Hello. Good
Hello sir.
afternoon.
Good afternoon sir. So Sajan sir is here, our next speaker. Sir is a double postgraduate in the he has two management degrees, one in the personal management as well as one in the tourism management. And sir has extensive, experience, more than 25 years working in the tourism industry. And major part of that was spent as an academist or educationalist. So, without making any further delays, I would like to call upon Sergeant Sir and speak with us. Welcome on board, Sergeant Sir.
Thank you so much, Vaibhav. Thank you. Get out of the screen, or the screen remains the same?
Sir, you have a PPT?
No, I don't have. Don't do it often. Okay. All right. Good afternoon, everybody. My job today given to me is in the next 20 to 30 minutes, I am able to tell you all, guide you all through what retail management is all about, and what travel and tourism industry, or as a course, how as a career, how far can you go about with it. I'm given to understand the fact that you guys are done, you're in your second year of whichever course that you are doing. So next year, third year, and then you graduate out of it, and could be a question to you what to do next after that. Okay, so yeah, so to start with, let's start the question with a question to ourselves that how do I select a course? What is the best course for me? Okay, and especially when you're doing something post-graduation, since you're doing a second year right now, since you'll be doing a post-graduation, you cannot have excuses of, oh, I made a wrong decision. You just can't. Neither with time, neither with age, and neither with
the majority of us here are in 12th.
Sorry, come again.
The majority of us here are in 12th standard.
In which one? 12th?
12th standard. 12th.
12th standard. Fair enough. Okay. 12th standard. All right. Okay. And 12th standard. All right. So after maybe some of you all may think of branching out after 12th, may not go for conventional BA, BCom courses. Then the question is, what do I do as such? Which course do I pick up? What's the best for me? Okay. The best person to answer these questions is you yourself. I'll tell you why and how to do it also. I'll tell you how to question yourself and how to answer yourself. Both the things I'll tell you. First thing is questioning yourself in terms of what is the best course I can do? Oh, this job in an air-conditioned room, circulating chair, easy chair, and lots of money, and finishing my job at 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock going to with my parents, 8 o'clock with my friends for dinner. This is not going to happen, honestly speaking. This is not going to happen. So the first thing you got to answer yourself, what kind of person am I? Why am I asking that question? Because I want to choose a career for myself, one course for myself. So the question is, if I'm choosing something to be a nurse in life, okay, I want to be a nurse, okay, in the hospital, the paramedical section. So the inherent quality in me should be that I want to serve people. That inherent quality, the call should be there from inside, that I want to serve people. I like serving people. So whether it is injecting, giving an injection, giving medicines, or collecting the waste, human waste, it doesn't matter. As long as I'm satisfied doing the service for people, I like it. Then learning the course for 4 years, stopping it, getting the best job, all that is secondary. The first thing is, am I satisfied with what I'm doing? And serving people satisfies me. If you're able to answer these two questions, then that nursing is the right place to be at. That is the right choice you're taking. For example, a teacher, like me, a person, I'm into teaching profession. Now, as inherently in me, inside me, the call should be to share information. If I'm not a person who doesn't like to share information, I like to keep it with myself, I like to share it with a few people of my liking people, then I'm not a teacher. I'm not, for example, salespeople, they will never share the information. They're not supposed to. They're supposed to keep the information. That is their strength. But a teacher has to be exactly the opposite. A teacher inherently, inherently the quality should be there to share amongst people as such. That's when whatever information he or she gets, she collects, she's able to put up in a lecture, she's able to put up in a lesson and share that and make others even more knowledgeable. No, inherently I have the quality in me that I can share, I love to share. सोच के देखो बहुत सारे लोग ऐसे हैं जिसको शेयर करना अच्छा नहीं लगता है. For example, let's take the example like advertising agency. I may dress pathetically, I may not be disciplined, I may have very bad habits like smoking and things like that, all acceptable. End of the day, when I reach my office, my manager comes and tells me, this is a campaign, this is a pen and paper, create something. Immaterial to whatever habits I have, if in 1 hour I'm able to create a campaign creatively, that is what is required to be in advertising. Then the right course is to the right place of industry, right course is advertising. If you're creative, you're really very creative, you can every time create all the time, then the course you should pick up is advertising or the media. So that is where it starts from. What are you? What is that you like inside you? What is that inherent quality that you have? How do you get to know it? How do we explore ourselves? That also you have to do your hard work a little bit. As you're sitting for the information today, and somebody told I'm 12th standard pass out, and you're sitting for information today, you have to carry on doing it for next 3 or 4 months till your results come in after 12th. Go for different, different workshops. Go for your career-oriented test. There's so many tests available these days in the market that they advise you. I'm not saying take their advice in totality. Take a test or two. No harm in investing money in that. Get their viewpoint as such. You read yourself. Have a day, a disciplined day whereby you say, next half an hour, I'm going to search on Google. What are the kind of courses available in the market? You actually go by site. Find out what's there in journalism, what's there in media, what's there in travel and tourism, what's in retail. Find out these things as such. Do it on your own. You need not have anybody's help, guys. You live in the jet age. You have the Google, so-called the Google with you on your mobile phone. You can investigate anytime, anywhere. That's a strength as you as a student. Walk down to colleges like Garware, other colleges where they're giving you skill-based training. Go there physically, hang around there, speak to the students there, speak to the authorities there, find out what is optimally, what are the different courses that you have, how much duration is it, What's the pattern of their exams? What's the pattern of their syllabus? Do they give training? Yes, you can start doing all these things as such. When you do all this, when you have so much of data with you, you yourself will understand, here, this looks interesting. Let me investigate more about this. If this interests me a lot, then is when you'll find out, oh, I am creative. I can create things. I think advertising, screenplay writing, or things like that is the area I should be at. So if you are able to do that for yourself in a disciplined fashion, even for 3 months, contact the right people, read the right material, investigate, go to the right colleges, those COVID-19, after COVID-19, pay a visit, 2 or 3 friends. Idea good at the end of the day. What applies to me as an individual? If you get those answers, you are going the right path. I'm not saying that's the most right career that you choose, but yes, to understand, to investigate who you are and what you want to do. And I'm sure you'll all know what is advertising, what is computer science, what is the various. There's not just MBBS and engineering these days. There are so many. They attach 3 letters to it and put a management word, and there's a new course altogether. I'm not criticizing it. I'm not trying to make fun out of it, but that's the kind of availability of choice that you'll have. So you really have to make that research work. What are there in the industry? Coming to retail. So I'm very clear with it, right? That you investigate on your own who you are, what you are, and where you want to get to. Then you will find out which courses are there, and you'll be able to choose the right one. I'm not saying, this test that you have to depend totally on that. They say do travel alone. No, don't do that. Take their opinion, read it, go to other test and do another test there also. Take their opinion, take it in writing. Come home, sit in front of a computer, and as per what they have said, you check out. And then finally, after a month, you can decide, speak to your parents. Speak to your parents. They will give you a selfless advice. They'll only think about your benefit. So no matter how educated they are, not educated, whatever it is, they have one thing very different from you people. That is experience. They have experience, 1, and 2, they'll be selfless. When I'm taking a test, when I'm taking, and I'm supposed to guide you which profession to go to, I may have 1,000 different thoughts behind my mind. I have to promote this college. I have to promote this course. I have given so much money for commission for so many things. So I should promote Delaware. I'm selfish. But your mom and dad will never be selfish. They have also seen life, and with their experience, you can have their say. उनको सुन के तो लो. ये नहीं कहता वो जो बोलते वही करो. वो भी नहीं मैं कह रहा हूँ. अगर आपको टेस्ट देकर, पैसा देकर, टेस्ट देकर उनका रिकमेंडेशन ले सकते हो, तो आधा 1 घंटा या 2 घंटे में, हफ्ते में 1 दिन, एक संडे को बैठकर 1 घंटा बात करो. डैडी ये बात है, ऐसा एक कोर्स है, मम्मी ऐसा एक कोर्स है, ऐसा है, वैसा है, फलाना है. He and she will give their perceptions. That will influence your thought process. घर पे ही है, advisors घर पे ही है. Only thing is, we don't take it as something as an asset. They have the experienced people. They can tell you. They may not be educated, but they can tell you which way to go. Guaranteed. Coming to retail industry. Okay, and the 2 courses that I'm going to speak to you all about today is the retail management, and the other one is travel and tourism. But in both the industry, one thing is common, and who should try to get into these 2 industry is those people who like to be with people. Who like to be with people. They like to interact with people. They like to meeting new people. They like to serve people. They like the feedback coming from people. That satisfies them. That kind of mentality who has got a inherent quality in them, that they can gel with all kinds of people. They can be focused to their work and yet give service to the people. They have the culture in them, inside them. They can speak at the right time, the right place. They have got the gift of the gab, जिसे कहते हैं भगवान ने दिया, humor दिया है. If all these qualities are there within you, then yes, retail and travel and tourism could be a choice that you can. It's a people's industry. People's industry का मतलब क्या है? 90%, 80% of the job that you do in travel and in retail is co-centric to people. It's customer based. It's customer centric. And whether it's a colleagues, whether it's a vendors, whether it's the agents, all of them, you have to contact different kinds of people, different kinds and types of people in different locations, get it together and present it to another person called the customer. So 90%, so 90 exaggeration, 80% of the job is people centric. So you should be able to mingle with people. That should be the core character in you. For example, I'm not saying a clerk's job is bad or accountant's job is bad. What I'm saying is, if I'm accountant, I've got a computer, I've got Tally with me, I got the files with me, I can sit on it for 8 hours and complete my job. A year or there, I speak to my colleague and so, take a guidance from my boss, and yet I can do my job. But that is not the case in retail and in travel and tourism. You can't do a job like that. You got to be good in your computers. You got to be good on your telephone. At the same time, you should note that all this what I'm doing is to understand my customer. So if I'm not able to serve my customer the way he wants it, then you're in the wrong place. You're doing the wrong course. You're selecting the wrong thing. Just because this job will give me a manager's job, this job will be the air-conditioned room, this job will allow me to wear tie and coat or skirt and blouse. Oh, airport is the best place. It's going to be fun all throughout. That's why I choose to be in aviation. It's a wrong decision. Putting that lipstick up, putting the brooch up, putting the scarf up from morning 8 till evening 6. You got to be the same mode. You can't drop down. You have to have the same energy level. It's lot for asking. Asking for a lot. If you have that temperament, then you are supposed to be as a cabin crew. Just because you can fly to different countries or different states, different places, it looks very beautiful. That's why I'll be a cabin crew. No, absolutely not. You should be a person who is able to, has that will to take risk and have people's safety first. So if something goes wrong, I will give up myself first and then my customer. Kya utna dam hai aap mein? Are you having that kind of attitude in you? Yes, then retail or tourism could be a right place. Talking about retail industry, as I told you, one thing, it's people's industry. Second thing, if you're inherently in a young age, you like shopping, you like knowing about cosmetics, you know which company they are, who's making it, what is it like, you know about what is happening in furniture, which company, what's happening in the gold ornaments is concerned, what international designs are all about, which companies are coming in India in ornaments is concerned. You're talking about fashion, who's a fashion designer, which is the upcoming fashion designer, how is a retail, from where can I buy online for myself? All these questions to myself. Agar aisa sab aapke paas hai questions, so yes, if you are a people's person, retail could be a good choice. Retail could be a good choice. Agar aapko shopping, paisa bilkul nahi hai, lekin window shopping karte ho aap, usme aapko maza aata hai. That also can tell you, yes, man, this is something that I prefer doing. Even though I don't have money, I like going to malls.
आवाज नहीं आ रही, मैं normal call करती हूँ. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And the subjects that we have in retail industry, the three major pillars of retail industry. Three, you can note it down if you want. One is the inventory management. The second is the merchandising management. And third is the supply chain management. Inventory management is simple as you keep accounts of your money, how much you have got, how much you require, how much you have spent, how much is remaining. Likewise, in a bank, as they keep account of money, in a retail shop, they keep account of your goods. Keeping account of the goods, how much is there, how much is to be spent, how much is required more in the next week. That is called as inventory management. The second layer that you have is merchandising. You have got the goods in your shop. Now it has to communicate it from your shop to the audience, to the people that yes, come and buy this. This is what I have with me. That is called as merchandising management. And the third is the goods reaching your shop, and from your shop to various customers. It needs logistics, right? Supply chain management. That is where supply chain management comes into play. So these are three pillars: merchandising, inventory, and supply chain management are the three pillars on what inventory management all circle. Then customer service, organizational behavior, management, communication, all that comes later. But then these are three pillars you got to understand. Inventory is one of the best, one of the most important things that you ought to understand in terms of the business is concerned. सामान कितना है, कितने की जरूरत है, कहां पर है, कहां पहुंचना है, कब तक पहुंचना है, इसका हिसाब किताब जो रखता है उसको हम इन्वेंटरी मैनेजमेंट कहते हैं. So, you have to have the love for that thing, doing that job. You should have the love for it. That yes, you like being with goods. You imagine Amazon, man. Imagine Amazon as you as a store manager. Imagine how big the godown will be, how big it will be, because it gives you a needle. एक सुई से लेकर washing machine तक सब कुछ देता है वो. तो अगर कोई ऑर्डर करता है मुझे 2 सुई चाहिए, you want 2 needles and thread, 1 white thread, वो भी ऑर्डर प्लेस करके आपको आपके इतने बड़े गोदाम से आपको निकालना है. अगर निकालना हो तो गोदाम किस तरीके से साइंटिफिकली और मेथोडोलॉजिकली अरेंज होना चाहिए आप ही इमेजिन कर लो. आई थिंक यू आर गुड इनफ इन 12th स्टैंडर्ड टू अंडरस्टैंड दैट कि कैसे हो सकता है. अगर मुझे सुई और धागा चाहिए वो पूरे बड़े गोदाम से, तो यू नीड टू हैव दैट स्किल, यू नीड टू डेवलप दैट स्किल, you need to have the knowledge to do that job. Where are the jobs placements? Now, so I did not speak to you all because you all know it much better. Shopping malls, the kind of brands that are available, right from clothing to to electronics, to anything on this earth. Today we have a retail shop, and there are salespersons, there are regional managers, there are branch managers, there are location managers, supervisors, executives. You may start your job. I'm not saying you start your job, wow, you're going to go as a manager directly. No, you may start your job as a bagger or as a shelf staff, who takes care of the shelf. And then maybe in time, as you grow, you understand it. Yes, today there are areas to grow, not like years, like a Kirana store, where you had to have a shop and that's all it is. No. Today, Big Bazaar is there. It's available in Mumbai, Pune, and Nagpur. You could be a regional manager, a state manager. If you're a multi-state manager, you're a regional manager. The subcontinent. Big Bazaar is there in Sri Lanka. Big Bazaar is there in Bangladesh. Is there in India. Is there in Nepal. You could be that on the top, regionally looking at it. The scope is quite wide these days. Quite wide. The way technology has grown, the way technology has been applicable to retail industry, has changed the entire scenario of the job opportunities that is there. But yes, it will take time. It's a service industry. Overnight nahi hoga. It will take time. Job opportunities. People's industry. Then we go down to the next segment of our talk is travel and tourism. People, when I said, as I told you, you got to be having the potential of being with people. That is a must. But a little different from retail, being with people in tourism, is you should have an inclination towards a culture, towards a tradition, to the way of life of people. If you're able to understand that, you like doing that as such, then yes, tourism could be a right place to get going with. Let's take city of Mumbai. If you find business in Vada Pav and you think that is a culture of way of life of people, I'm just giving you an example. If Vada Pav is a way of life of people, and you can see money by promoting Vada Pav, nothing like it. You're understanding tourism by its core meaning. You understand what Koli community is and how do they contribute, what it is, their music, their dance, their culture, their festivals. You like to be there with them. You like to understand. You like to read more about them. You like to know what kind of income level do they have? What can they do in Mumbai city as such? How tourism can be alternative income for them? Can tourism be alternative income? All these questions, if you understand their culture, their festival, Nariyal Purnima, what it is like, yeah, then right, you're right. The world has got the same. So it's a study of the world as such. If you understand Mumbai by its culture, the way of life is concerned, then you got to understand what Pune is, what Nagpur is. If you understand Maharashtra, then you got to understand Southern India. You can't be a person by saying, hey, he's speaking Tamil and other one speaking Bhojpuri Hindi and you laugh at it. No, you got to understand that language that in that region is acceptable. And I'm Indian, I should be knowing about what's the difference between Tamil and Kannada. Should have the patience, I should have the maturity in me to understand that. If a person speaks Bhojpuri Hindi and a person speaks Himachali Hindi, if I have the interest in me, I will try and investigate. दोनों में क्या फर्क है, कैसा है, पहाड़ी हिंदी क्या होता है, पहाड़ी कल्चर क्या होता है. मुझे भी जाना है फार ईस्ट, नॉर्थ ईस्ट में. क्या नॉर्थ ईस्ट के लोग इंडियंस नहीं है, सब चिंकीज है? आप उनको चिंकी बोलेगा? नहीं. अगर आप उनको चिंकी बोलते हो, then you are not understanding tourism to itself. As much as Indian you are, they are also. नॉर्थ ईस्ट के स्टेट्स कौन से हैं, उनका वे ऑफ लाइफ क्या है? और we are so lucky actually in India, we are so lucky that we have so many diverse things that all are coming under one roof. It has got its benefits, it has got its disadvantages also. But as a study person, are you interested in knowing that? How is India? What the demography of India is concerned? How can you sell festivals as a product? Does it interest you? Does the Banarasi sari and Nawari sari and Kanjipuram sari, does that tell you the culture of that particular place? If you see culture in the sari, you're understanding what tourism is. That is one part. The second part is travel. Yeah, travel is, more into terms of reservations. So if it's airline tickets, if it is railway tickets, online, how to do it, the specific software that come in Garware, we teach that also. Amadeus, Abacus, Sita, the different reservation system that comes. You got to know that language. You got to know how to do it as such. If you are able to do that, yes, you can get into travel agencies. You can get into airline industry, whereby you're facilitating them to get their tickets done up. The hotel bookings is concerned, these kind of bookings that needs to be done technically on the computer. These days, everything is on the computer. So online you do it. And then you call up the customer and say, confirm, sir, your tickets are confirmed. Kindly come and pick it up or we'll send across. How will you do the payment? You're talking to the person, your personality, your outlook, your communication. All this needs to be trained very well, very well. You got to be the best. Exactly the retail industry. Your communication skill, your personality, you got to get the best out of you. So you have this 2 years or 3 years where you can train yourself. But in the 12th standard, if you understand, hey, my liking is this, and this is where I want to get going with. In 3 months' time, if your vacation is concerned, if you're able to investigate, you're able to find out, that's a big advantage you'll have in the next 3 times through your course, wherever you join. So the two parts is one is tourism, and tourism also got one more part is called itinerary making, itinerary planning. It's a very simple thing. It's a very simple thing that I go from here to Dadar at so and so time. From Dadar, I take a rickshaw and go to Shivaji Park. And Shivaji Park, I go down to Mahim, take a taxi. And then from there, I take directly a bus and I reach Santa Cruz station. बोलना इतना आसान है, टाइमिंग भी बोल दो. लेकिन जब हम लोग रेगुलर बेसिस में हर रोज हम लोग 30, 40, 50 लोगों के साथ डील करते हैं, तो ऑब्वियसली उसको एक साइंस होता है, उसका एक साइंटिफिक मेथड होता है. वो मेथड पढ़ना और जानना और नॉलेज पाना बहुत जरूरी है. देखो, सोच के देखो, मुंबई में हम लोग इतने साल से रह रहे हैं, लेकिन इतने सारे चीजें हैं हमको नहीं मालूम मुंबई के बारे में. अगर आर्किटेक्चर हो या caves or temples or जो भी है in terms of physical is concerned, maybe you may not know a particular community, how they live in Mumbai city. There's so much to look into. So if you're talking Mumbai city alone, then you're talking about India. And just think of what you got to learn if you have to learn about the world is concerned. And it is not possible that in 3 years time I teach you the world. No, but you got to get the skills to understand how do you look at a country as a tourism professional. If you're able to gather that perception level in 3 years time, then you apply the same science, whether Sri Lanka, India, or America. You apply the same science to decode that country, to understand that country is concerned. So 2 parts to it. One is travel, where you do the bookings, okay? And the other part is tourism, where you actually make tours and make itineraries as such. Job opportunities, front office, okay? Speaking to the customer, finding out what they require, whether it's tickets or whether it's tours or whatever it is, whatever the service they offer, what the customer wants. That's where communication comes into picture. That's where your personality comes into picture. So your 3 years of training yourself is a must. If you're not good in English, it doesn't mean that you don't join the industry. You can. Only thing is, in 3 years' time, you have to have a fixed mind. Hey, look, man, the 80% of the business in this industry works in English. I have to learn this language. That's my bread and butter. अगर ऐसा आपको समझ में आता है कि ये मेरा रोजी रोटी है, तो कोई भी किसी भी तरह से कौन सा भी लैंग्वेज सीख सकता है. इतने सारे मुंबई में इतने सारे गाइड जो है जो इंग्लिश नहीं बोलते, लेकिन फ्रेंच, जर्मन और अरबिक इतना अच्छा बोल लेते हैं, बहुत बढ़िया बात करते हैं. क्योंकि आप टूरिज्म में हो, क्योंकि 80% ऑफ बिजनेस स्पीक्स इन इंग्लिश, गोज इन इंग्लिश, इसके लिए आपको भी इंग्लिश में बात करना जरूरी है. ऐसा नहीं है कि आपको नहीं मालूम हो, 12th के बाद आप ज्वाइन ही नहीं करोगे. आपके पास 3 साल का टाइम है बॉस, पढ़ने के लिए, सीखने के लिए. 3 साल में सीखो, कौन नहीं सीख सकता. और प्रैक्टिस करने से ही आता है ना लैंग्वेज. कोई भी ये नहीं कह सकता कि मैं मराठी तो when I was born, or Gujarati when I was born, or Tamil when I was born, I know the language. No, it is your mother who has given you the exposure. It's your father who has spoken to you. It's your friends who have been. You have got the exposure. So after 18 years of knowing the language, 20 years of being exposed to the language, then in public you say, then also you have a hitch in your mind. Then in public you say, hey, Marathi mein bola, dakho to main tumhala. Then you say that. So it took 20 years for you to learn Marathi in public to speak that, or Gujarati to speak that. Obviously, guys, English will take time. That doesn't mean that you'll never learn it. That's a wrong notion. No. If you put in your mind, if you expose yourself, if you train yourself, English, French, German, kaun sa bhi language you can learn. And know one thing, English language is not important. Even any language at that point of time cracks your business, that language is important. That customer speaking Gujarati, you are able to speak Gujarati, you are able to crack the business, well, good for you. That's good for you. क्योंकि आपको उस कस्टमर के साथ तभी आपने उनको हिमाचली हिंदी में बात किया, आपने उनको इंप्रेस हुआ, आपने उसने आपसे सामान खरीदा. चाहे रिटेल हो चाहे टूरिज्म हो, दोनों में अपना लैंग्वेज जो है बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट प्ले करता है, बहुत इंपॉर्टेंस प्ले करता है, और अपना पर्सनालिटी. एक बात बताता हूं मैं आपको, मेरा लास्ट है, उसके बाद मैं क्वेश्चंस लूंगा. लास्ट है, आप किराना के दुकान में गए हो, आपके गलियों में, आपके घर के बगल में सब, वहां का सेठ को देखना, वो एक व्हाइट पैजामा या व्हाइट कुर्ता पहनकर सुबह आते हैं. सुबह 8 बजे उनका दुकान खुलता है. अभी सब थोड़ा टाइम बदला हुआ है, वो बात अलग है, लेकिन 8 o'clock मॉर्निंग है, दे ओपन देयर शॉप्स एंड दे स्टैंड ऑन द गल्ला, कहते हैं हिंदी में, ऑन देयर कैशियर बॉक्स. They stand like that. And up till the evening, 10 o'clock, they're standing there. Their hair is the same way, their kapda is the same way, everything is the same way, and they're standing there. Do you think that's easy? No, man, it's not. It requires skills. वो गले में खड़ा रहकर उसको मालूम है स्टोर में कितना क्या पड़ा हुआ है, कौन सा क्या बिक रहा है, कितना पैसा आ रहा है, सबके ऊपर ध्यान है उसको स्किल कहते हैं बॉस. That's called a skill. And the skill overnight नहीं आता है. You got to train yourself for that. Your mind. सुबह 8 बजे से लेकर शाम के 10 बजे तक एक ही पोजीशन पे खड़े रहो और देखते रहो कि काम क्या हो रहा है. सिंपल जॉब है, isn't it? Very simple मैं जो बताया आपको. तो आप ही सोच के देखो, आप एक ट्रैवल एजेंसी में हो, आप ट्रेनर हो, आप ट्रेनी हो, ट्रेनिंग के लिए गए हो. सुबह 10 बजे को लिपस्टिक लगाना है आपको, बाल को अच्छी तरह बांध के नेट लगा के बैठना है यूनिफॉर्म के साथ, और 6 बजे को आपको निकलना है। 6 बजे को कस्टमर आता है, सॉरी सर अभी नहीं, आई एम सॉरी मैंने लिपस्टिक निकाल दिया है, अभी कल आ जाए सुबह। नहीं, you have to sit there. Good evening, sir. Please come and please be seated, sir. Bye, see you guys, bye. And you have to work, carry on working with that smile, you know, like this, with all the lipstick on your face, brush on your face. That's attitude. That's service. That's customer service. That आपका 6 बजे का प्लान डूब गया और कस्टमर को सर्विस देना है, मेरा काम है वो, नहीं तो there's no rocket science in it. Okay, रही बात थर्ड सेक्शन की, what does Garware offer? Okay, so in retail industry we offer a bachelor's degree. It's a three years degree after 12th, and there is, I believe there is an entrance test and there is an interview that we take. Okay, and it's a 3 years course with 6 semesters. And talking about Garware is concerned, one of the things that is very different from other colleges is that if it's a 100 marks paper, it's a 100 marks paper, 60 marks is internals. You have projects, vivas, you know, presentations, you have discussions, debates. That's how you evaluated in 60 marks. 40 marks external paper, a theory paper. So 60 marks, if you are really, if you want to be involved with the subject, if you're really focused, it's up to you how far you want to learn. आपको टॉपिक दिया जाएगा, आपको टॉपिक दिया जाएगा कि टेक्नोलॉजी एंड रिटेल इंडस्ट्री, टेक्नोलॉजी एंड रिटेल इंडस्ट्री. So whatever you investigate, you're learning. Whether it is customer service, whether it is barcoding, whether it is understanding the customer or reading the customer, wherever technology is used in retail, you're reading everything and you're presenting one. So it's up to you how far you want to go. That's one advantage you have when you have a system like this. 60 marks internals, 40 marks externals. And one of the important things that Garware always talks about is the fact that you have people coming from the industry, especially in retail. You have people coming from different areas of work is concerned, right from books to garments to furnitures to cosmetics, your FMG products, for everything. There are people who are coming and speaking to you from the industry. And very importantly, in retail industry, in retail management, in Garware that offers bachelors, they place you as interns also. So you work and study at the same time after 1 year, if my memory is not wrong. And in travel and tourism, again, it's a 3 years course, bachelor's course after 12. Yes, there is an entrance test and there is an interview. Based on that merit list, people are taken in. Again, there is subjects like culture. There is subjects like India tourism, international tourism. These are main subjects. But managment is there, communication skill is there, so on and so forth. And they are the same pattern. Communication paper, the entire 100 marks paper is internals, and the entire 100 marks. तो आपको continuously और 3 महीनों में continuously आपको speeches देने हैं, आपको presentations करना है, ताकि आप लोगों के बीच में खड़े रहकर बात कर पाए. उसको ध्यान में रखते हुए हम लोग ऐसा उसको डिजाइन किया हुआ है. इंटर्नशिप होते हैं आफ्टर द 4th semester 5th semester में. आपको कंपनी कह रहा हूँ, इंस्टीट्यूट आपको प्लेस करती है आपको जॉब पर. आप 3 महीना जो भी आपने सीखा है 4 सेमेस्टर में, आप देख सकते हो कि क्या है क्या नहीं है अपने आप, और फिर आके आप लास्ट में कॉलेज में आके एक प्रोजेक्ट करते हो 6th सेमेस्टर में, 6th सेमेस्टर में. आफ्टर 6th सेमेस्टर यू आर रेडी टू गो टू बी प्लेस्ड. यू कैन गो फॉर इंटरव्यूज एंड गेट योरसेल्फ प्लेस्ड. That's how travel and tourism is designed. Yes, the college timings are from morning to afternoon 2, and from morning 8 to 1 and 1 to 5. That way, depending on semesters, you'll have your time. Retail management, I believe it's from 8 o'clock till 10 o'clock, 8 o'clock till 11 o'clock is what you have in the morning. So that is retail industry for you. And that is travel and tourism industry, what Garware travel and tourism bachelor's. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot about this. Yeah, one is bachelor's degree in travel and tourism. Then if somebody is studying or doing some other course or is working and want to be in travel and tourism, there's something called DTM, Diploma in Tour Management. Now, students who are, like, for example, you're there in your 12th right now. If there's someone in the second year or first year, okay, they want to decide whether travel is the right thing to do, they can do a part-time course called Diploma in Tour Management. You know, with their degree or with the course that they're doing, they can understand this industry, and maybe they can go for a bachelor's or the master's a little later. We also have masters in tourism management in Garware Institute, where after your graduation is concerned, the master's degree you can acquire from there. The difference in master's degree and bachelor's degree is that in travel and tourism is that it not only teaches you management, but teaches you a technical subject like reservations, like tour operations, travel agency management. The technical aspect is also taught to you all, so that the dual thing is there where you know your technicality and you know your managerial skills also at the same time. Yeah, that's me. I've spoken for only 25 minutes now in a stretch. Yes, if you have any questions, you want to know something, you can ask me. Anything? Yes, Sukanya. Vaibhav? Any questions, people? Anything you want to know? Can I have someone? Vaibhav, Sukanya, anybody there?
Hello, sir.
Yeah. Hi, Chinmay.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, I've done with them. I've told them about travel and tourism and retail. If they had any questions or you want to coordinate with them with any questions, they can ask me as such.
Yes, you all can unmute yourself and ask. If you like, you can put them in chat box. I can read it for you. I'm sure they must have so many questions. You can put it in the chat box. I'll read it for you, or else unmute yourself. Anything is fine.
And just because of skill development, you know, by the end of your studies, whether it's post-graduation or graduation, having a skill is the most important going further from here in any of the industry is concerned. The more the time goes by, specialization will come into place. You know, there are going to be specific courses for specific jobs as such, specific experience, specific skill sets. You know, even a waiter requires a skill which he learns through training of on-job training of 3 or 4 years. If we are able to comprehend in 6 months and give him a certificate, that also is important. So, and everybody understand one thing: up sirf, you know, doing one course or, you know, just a bachelor's degree will not take you too far. You've got to understand one thing: skill, and that skill is what is being paid for. How you utilize your skill, how you develop on it is a secondary question. But yes, post-12, post-graduation, you have to understand, I got to offer something to the industry. So what do I offer to offer? Do I know reservations in travel? If I know reservations travel, I can apply for a travel agent and go for an interview as such and tell them, hey, look, this is what I know about reservations in the travel industry, or this is what I know about tour management or tour itinerary in a travel industry is concerned. That is a basic step that you can enter into industry. That is applicable to all the industry as such in general. So you have to choose. It's a high time that you do your investigation and you choose which is the industry that you want to get into. Okay, so I bid you goodbye for now. All right. And
thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Yeah, bye.
Thank you for the insights. Yeah, I would like to request students to stay back for 2 minutes I believe you can see all the 3 links in the chat box. The first link is of the NSBT portal, NSDC portal, on which you can access the 5-hour course that is there, and you'll receive receive the coupon code via email immediately after the workshop. Uh, Next is the CMT test that we talked about, that contains your interest and the other activities that are there. And the last link, importantly, is a registration link. So I believe many of you have registered before this workshop, but if you haven't, please register on the same. And yes, so that's it. That's what the workshop is. So I would like to thank each and every participant who came today, and a special thanks on behalf of University of Mumbai's Garware Education and Career Development, American India Foundation, and Dell Technologies to our guest speakers, Dr. Dela Krishna ma'am and Dr. Sajan Nair sir. So it was a pleasure to have you to come on board and share such knowledgeable information fields. And I would like to once again thank you to the principal, Dr. C.D. Chakrabarti, the principal, as well as Dr. Kiran Jadhav, the vice principal of the junior college. And a big thank you to Dr. Vinit Vaidya, the career mentor, without whom the workshop would not be able, we would not be able to conduct the session. So again, thank you so much on behalf of University of Mumbai's Garware Career Education and Development, American India Foundation, and Dell Technologies. I thank you all and wish you all the best for your future prospects. Thank you so much. You will receive the certificates on email after this workshop. We'll shoot the emails to you, and the physical certificates you will receive later. And in case any of your friends who were not able to attend the workshop, or if they want to attend a workshop, see the workshop, this particular link will be video recording will be uploaded on the YouTube on the Garware's channel. You can check that out also. So if you have which link you want, Ayush, can you tell me the channels? Every link, each and every link is there. I'd like to request Umang to put all the links again. Can you do that, Umang?
Yes.
Yes, so all the links are there. If you haven't registered, do so. And I would like to request, take the test, do the course, everything is free, and you'll have the certificate, and it will be beneficial for your future. So thank you. So if you don't have any further questions, that's it from us. Thank you and have a good day.